Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Oh my God, it is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here. Dude, I'm literally still shaking from that ending of that episode, Plan Execution. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit. They just hit us with like the best possible ending to a mid-season finale that I think they could have done. Holy shit, guys. We'll get into that end part, but I wanted to get here and review the episode for you guys. Oh my god, man. Wow. Bravo, Vince, man. What a great job on this episode, man. From start to finish, I was on the edge of my seat the entire episode. And I'm just going to get this out of the way. The rating for this episode is a 10 out of 10. And this is probably in the top three Better Call Saul and possibly even Breaking Bad universe episodes. This was fantastic. This was right up there with Rock and Hard Place with the best episode of the season so far, hands down. But yeah, let's get into the episode here, breaking down the whole episode. And we'll get into that final shot here that just blew everyone's minds away, literally. Oh my god, man. Oh, so we get to see Lalo. He is back in Albuquerque here. We've been waiting to see when Lalo was going to get back in Albuquerque all season, and we get to see him spying on Gus's laundry, super lab here. We see him on the outside. He's in the sewer here. Roy peeping around. And man, we've been waiting for this Lalo and Gus tension all season. It's Roy been building slow and slow, but they really paid it off in this episode. Oh man, oh man. Next here we get to see Jimmy here. We get to see him getting everyone together for this redo of the photo shoot because of the mediator. He had broke his arm and they had done the shots without him breaking his arm, so they needed to refilm that real quick. And gets everyone back together. They're just running as quick as they can. And then when Jimmy goes and runs and hands the pictures off, we see Howard's PI take the pictures, man, playing a double agent here. I didn't see that coming at all, man. I was like, oh my God, another oh my God moment, man. There were so many like OMG moments in this episode, man. Oh crap, man. What are Saul and Kim gonna do about that? Oh my God, I know. It was just insane. But yeah, when Jimmy handed the letters off to Howard's PI, bro, my jaw just dropped. I'm like, oh my God, he's a double agent. He's gonna screw Howard here. So yeah, basically we get to see that portion of the episode, and then something that had me anxious all episode, of course, was going to be the meeting between HHM and Cliff versus Schweiger and Coakley. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time with everyone kind of piling into this room. We see Jimmy and Kim have the phone, so they were able to listen in on the conversation because of the con that Francesca used for them earlier on in the season here. And we get to see Howard, the face of Howard when the mediator came in, man, is just like, oh my God. And, you just blatantly calls him out. I saw you taking pictures. My PI has pictures of you taking a cash bribe, from Jimmy McGill, $20,000 bribe. But of course, we know the PI is a double agent actually working for Jimmy at this time now. So, Howard's like, go back to my office. I have the proof right here. And it's just a bunch of pictures that are swapped out. And Howard just looks like a damn fool here in front of everyone, man. I kind of felt so bad for Howard, man. I was like, man, Howard's really getting screwed here, man. They really just went all in on that. And I was just so anxious, man. My heart was pumping so fast for Howard, man. Oh, man. So crazy here. We get to see, Howard just frantically going around the whole office, trying to call his PI, trying to get any information that he can that this is Jimmy McGill. And it was just freaking insane here. What a phenomenal showing there. That scene was amazing. I also really like the scene of him talking about Chuck. We get to see how Chuck's influence on Howard is still reigns supreme to this day, and just how much of a factor Chuck is in all of this. We know Jimmy is in this for the fun and, he wants his sandpiper money, but Chuck also has a part of this as well. Chuck was a huge influence on both Jimmy and Howard here. So that was just crazy. I'm just going through my notes here, but I'm just so frantically going through all this. I'm just so shocked here about everything that happened here. Then we get to see Lalo here. Lalo, searching again. He's in the sewers, and he eventually, has this videotape for Don Audio to, kind of document as proof if something were to happen, or kind of have video evidence of the proof that he would need on a video camera here, which was amazing to see. Lalo just going crazy, just trying to get back at Gus, man. And oh my God, we get to see, Hector again in this episode. We get to see Lalo calling Hector, and he realizes after he had made the call, he's like, oh my God, the phone is tapped, so that they know what he's going to say. So he recognizes it before he tells Hector his true intentions here. He calls back and gives Gus a false narrative here. He says he's going to go back to Plan A, where he's not going to get proof and he's just going to go after Gus. Sending Mike and all the guys in a frantic here. And we get to see Gus, showing his public image out, and Mike talking with him and saying, "We got to get you back to the safe house right now. It's not safe for you out there." He could barge in at any time. Just clever play by Lalo here. And we get to see him go off screen, and it's very rumored that he's going to go after Jimmy and Kim here. And let's build up to what all of you are probably in here for. The biggest, wow, most shocking moments of the series here. We get to see Howard. He comes in and he confronts Jimmy and Kim. He kind of just lays it all out. He's like, you're destroying my reputation. This goes beyond pranks and the bowling balls. You're ruining my entire life and career here. I'm going to dedicate my whole life to find you. And we see Lalo come in. This is the first time that Howard and Lalo have met here, of course. And Kimmy and Jimmy are like just telling to Howard, just get out of there, because they know what Lalo's capable of. And Howard just, staggering around. And then Lalo gets his gun ready, blows fucking Howard's head off, man. Oh my goodness, man. What an insane moment, man. Freaking Lalo fucking gives it to fucking Howard here, man. He freaking blows his head off. And Jimmy and Kim are scared for their entire lives, man. And it ends right there, man. Oh, it's going to be so difficult to wait until July to see what happens with this entire situation, man. Wow. Look at all you guys showing support here on the chat, man. Commenting all about Lalo. Let's go over some questions here. Just your thoughts, man. All of them are just like, rip Howard. Oh my God, Howard. Like, just so insane, man. I thought he was just going to go insane. Wasn't expecting that. I know a lot of people predicted that he would, uh, do it himself earlier in the season here. They thought he would just go too insane and get driven too deep into depression. That's how Howard would go. But no, man, Lalo just freaking badass as fuck comes in and just does that. I called it, him looking crazy. I thought Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul were going to cameo because of the IMDb page. Yeah, I definitely feel like they're saving that for the later. Of course, now we know they're saving it. I believe that's going to be, if I had to guess for you, I would say that's going to be happening in the final 3 episodes. Definitely keep your eye out for that. I think they're going to save those two for something big, maybe the penultimate episode. I would say either episode 11, 12, or even 13. They will have Walter and Jesse come back in the cameo that was already confirmed earlier in the season. I know a lot of people are suspecting we thought Howard was going to do, and then that ends up happening. Wow. And then for all of you in here as well, we're doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway here on the channel. We're almost there. We're less than 200 subs away. If you guys want to be a part of that and be entered in for the giveaway at a nice prize here that I'm going to be giving away at 1,000 subscribers, definitely hit the subscribe button. I love seeing you guys each and every week. And, this is the most interaction I've had on one of these live streams, of course. for Better Call Saul, and I really appreciate all of you guys interacting in the chat. It really is so great to see the community that we build on this channel and seeing just everyone go crazy, man. I love going through the Better Call Saul Twitter every time there's like a commercial break and seeing what everyone's thoughts are. It's just always amazing to see like the communities that are taking place from this great show here. I just have a feeling Kim is going to get it next because she's going to try to talk her way out of it. She's probably going to say something Lalo won't like and get shot. Yeah, man. I don't think that Kim is going to get whacked or killed by Lalo at this exact moment, but she could definitely, man. And there's the theories that she used Ed. There's a whole bunch of possibilities, man. They've been hinting back and forth all season. Is Kim going to get killed? Is Kim going to disappear? Is she going to reunite with Gene? Is she going to stay with Saul in the Breaking Bad timeline and kind of be off-screen presence in that case? Because when they were clearing out Saul's house at the season 6 episode 1 opener, we saw there was a brawl there, so that may be a symbol of Kim still being there. Just a question: when are we next going to see Gene? That is no guarantee, but Gene is definitely coming. They've already teased in the trailers that Gene is going to be back. There was the scene where the $5 million reward that Gene ends up taking away. I would suspect it's going to be in the last few episodes here. They might do like one scene of Gene for every episode in the back half of the season, but I personally think it could be saved for like the last 3 episodes. I think those last 3 episodes, because they're always done 10 episodes a season. So these last three, they're adding something special onto it. I feel like. When's the last part coming out? I believe it's July 11th. Definitely in July. I do believe it's July 11th. I believe it's the second Monday in July here. Um, oh my god, give me spoilers. Yeah, so this of course is a spoiler review here. I'm going to be actually archiving this on the channel here afterwards, so you can check out my entire thoughts. We were all just going crazy about the whole Howard situation here. It was just really, really amazing. The way is going to be unbearable. I know, man. Same thing here. I'm excited for Stranger Things that's coming out on Friday. I'm going to be watching that, and that's going to be crazy because that's going to be a long wait here, man. I was actually reading too on Twitter, Thomas Shaw's, however you pronounce his last name. He's one of the key guys on the show. I believe he's an executive producer or a writer, and he talked about the only reason that they really had to split the season into 2 parts was because of all the delays that they had, with the whole pandemic situation, with the Bob situation with his heart attack. Glad he recovered from that. But this kind of just makes it exciting because there's going to be so many videos, and I even might drop some videos on you guys on like some theories that could happen or what I think is going to happen in the last parts here. It's just going to be super, super crazy. Rate how well the D-Day scam worked. 10. 10 out of 10. I think they executed it like perfectly. Like I said, this episode plan and execution, it's a 10 out of 10 episode, and it could go down as like the best Better Call Saul episode ever made. And it's probably art for me, it's probably in my top 5. I love this episode plan execution. Rock and Hard plays Bagman. Chicanery is a great one. Winner. Like, there's so many great episodes here from Better Call Saul. Um, you know, I think that this was really, really great. A really, really fun episode on the edge of your seat. Like, not in the sense that like a lot of fun happened, but just the anxiety and the tension. It was just so fun to watch. It was incredible. Does Walt appear? He has not made an appearance yet, but Walt is confirmed for this final season here. He will be in the final season. Him and Jesse's character, of course, played by Aaron Paul, they are confirmed. I want to see if they're going to do the cameo together. Like if maybe it's a scene with Walt and Jesse back in school, or maybe they run into each other on the street, or will they be two separate, or will they even be in the same episode? Yeah, Walt and Jesse aren't in it yet, but they will be coming later on. It is 100% confirmed by the Better Call Saul page. Yeah, let's see here. Anything else that you guys want to talk about just a crazy, crazy, crazy episode, man. Um, wow, this actually just shattered my expectations. Like I always have high expectations each and every week for Better Call Saul because Breaking Bad's gotta live up to that standard, and Better Call Saul has to pave the way. Keep Breaking Bad on that pedestal here, and Better Call Saul is doing just that. I think this episode just was even better than most people expected, man. I thought most people agree with me that this was going to be a big episode, but wow, they really went all out with this episode, and it really showed, man. You know, we've already seen so much happen through half of the season already. It's crazy to see what they have planned for the back half. I really feel like they're going to be focusing more on Gene in the back half of the season here. That's just my opinion. I think they will be focusing more on Gene's situation here. As I mean, what else is there to do? The only thing they really got to wrap up in the Better Call Saul storyline is the Lalo situation. Kim's situation, like I said, if she's tied in with Lalo, it could end right there. That's pretty much the only big storyline that has left because the Howard storyline is a done deal. Like I just wonder what they're gonna do. Howard is such a recognizable presence. HHM is such a big corporation. How are they gonna sweep this under the rug? Because we know that Jimmy. Well, we don't know about Kim because that's another theory that Kim ends up going to jail. What if, guys? What do you think if Kim ends up taking the blame for Howard's murder? That'd be crazy because I doubt Lalo, takes the blame. He'd run, of course. Jimmy, we know, doesn't get caught, or at least talks himself out of it because he's in Breaking Bad. How crazy would that be if Kim ends up taking the hit, uh, taking the fall for Howard, man? Because, like I said, Howard's such a big presence in this series. You're not going to be able to just sweep him under the rug like he's a random person. Like, this is going to be something that is going to be talked about. Cliff is going to be wondering what's happened because I know I know that they could write it to where Howard feeling so guilty and so out of himself just goes insane and maybe he just disappears. That they could take it that way, but I feel like Cliff and Richard and all those other lawyers that we see aren't going to buy that sort of story. So, you know, Kim might take the fall. I know it's like because who else is gonna take it of the people in that room? Lalo won't. Jimmy we know doesn't because he's in Breaking Bad. Kim is the only wild card left. We know. So Nacho, Howard, Kim, and Lalo were all the wild cards coming into the season. We know the fates now of Nacho and Howard. So what are they going to do with Kim? What are they going to do with Lalo here? But you never know. But Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul have the best plot twist. I know. I actually am more curious now of what's going to happen to Kim following here because the Laos situation, the story, it's been a phenomenal. They've done such a great job, but we know who the winner is because we know Gus survives in the Breaking Bad. So we know that Lalo never exposes his secrets to Eladio. We know that he doesn't kill Gus or Mike. So that's the one thing that is definitely not as good because we know Gus is going to win the battle. But I think everyone's been wondering who is Lalo going to take with him, and we've already seen, man, he's already gone through Howard, Casper, uh, pretty much was kind of involved with all Nacho as well, even though he wasn't directly the one doing it. He was kind of involved in it, so it's just crazy to see, guys. And if someone said that Lalo could escape to Mexico, there is a theory out there that Lalo does go into hiding, and survives all the way through Breaking Bad because there's the famous line. Everyone knows the famous line from Breaking Bad of Gus saying to Hector, "You're the last Salamanca alive," or he was the only family you had left when he was talking about Joaquin. Um, and so maybe Gus, never finds out about Lalo, but I think Lalo's already done so much already that he can't just go into hiding for years and years and years and never be found. I just think like, dude, that'd be such a retcon to the Breaking Bad line that it would just kind of not make that line so memorable anymore. So I think that they won't end up doing that. I don't think that they will retcon that line. I think that Gus is speaking the truth when he tells Hector in season 4 that he is the last Salamanca. I'm almost as shocked as at the end of Rock and Hard Place. Those are both those are the only 2 episodes this season when I've done these live streams that I have given a 10 out of 10 to. It was so amazing, man. Both of those uh, were just so shocking and so great episodes. On IMDb, I follow that a lot. Rock and Hard Place is 9.7. You guys think that Plan Execution is going to be higher than it? Right now, it currently is. I believe it was a 9.9 when I last checked. I think Gus will kill Lalo. Uh, I don't know about that because that is definitely a good theory because we've seen Gus put the gun in the super lab. There's also a theory out there that Lalo gets buried in the super lab. How insane would that be? You're looking back on Breaking Bad scenes and being like, oh my god, Lalo is freaking buried in there. That's a theory here that people have tossed around that Lalo will get killed in the super lab, and then to cover up the body, they'll just pour over him and freaking bury him inside it. Uh, that would be insane. But I don't know if Gus is going to kill Lalo directly. Gus is not that kind of guy. Gus is not someone who does stuff by himself. If anyone, I mean, the obvious choice is Mike, of course. Obvious choice is Mike, but like someone pointed out with the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul writers, they love doing plot twists. So are they going to go with the easy choice out? Probably not. A lot of people thought that Mike was going to be the one that ended up killing Nacho as well, and that never happened. Mike is always a safe bet for who is going to go because Mike is such a badass. Do you think Lalo uses Kim to get into the laundromat? I don't know how that would work because Kim has I don't believe Kim knows anything about the laundromat. Um, how would he use her because she doesn't even know about any of that stuff. But maybe he does. I know you mean, how he can use her as a scapegoat to get in, so that would definitely be good. But as to her giving information about it, that wouldn't really make sense right now. But I like what you're thinking there. That is definitely would be insane. Like, what if Lalo uses Kim as like a scapegoat, and then Kim ends up getting killed in the aftermath, and she gets like taken out by Mike or Tyrus or Victor or someone like that? That would be insane. Just the one thing that a lot of people have pointed out here of why Kim probably won't die is Saul's mood in Breaking Bad. Saul is just this fun-loving guy. He doesn't seem like he has, any depression problems or that he's really sad about anything. I feel like something with Kim, man, that could really change him forever. So a lot of people are pointing that out that Kim might not die because of that reason. Because why would Saul be so happy in the Breaking Bad timeline if Kim was killed because of actions that he caused? Uh, so that's always a good point here. Does anyone else feel like it's kind of lazy to fix characters that aren't in Breaking Bad just by killing them? I think they're doing it right though. They're doing it justice. They're showing the reasons and they're putting a great story together. They're not like half-assing the story and kind of making plot holes. Is like, oh, this doesn't make sense. All of the stories that I've seen so far for these deaths, they really make sense. It's really hard to kind of go back and like look at Saul's lines because Saul says like a lot of stuff in Breaking Bad that's like really hard to kind of replicate, about his like ex-wives and all the situations that he talks about. A lot of people point out like, he makes that compliment about Francesca in the earlier seasons of Breaking Bad when he first is introduced, and he's like, why would Saul be doing that? He doesn't really think of her like that right now, but just the corruption of Saul is insane. I think that she'll get shot, which will make her want to disappear, and then they'll agree with that. You know, a lot of people, including myself, have really grabbed onto that Ed theory that she's going to use Ed because we saw in the last episode with Caldera's Black Book that she was really focusing on the card. She really was someone who uh, was just, they focused on her holding the card, and a lot of people were like, that's foreshadowing to her using Ed. I wonder how they're going to implement Ed because, Robert Forster, RIP, Robert Forster, he passed away, so they won't be able to show Ed on screen, but, they could use voice recordings of Ed, or they could just show his infamous red van, of course, and Kim getting picked up in it and getting taken away. The only thing is, there's a lot of different theories out there because of the whole Gene situation. Gene gets sent to Nebraska, and we know Kim is from Nebraska. But in Breaking Bad, he's not, happy about going to Nebraska. He doesn't seem like he picks the location. So uh, if she uses Ed, of course, Ed's not going to take her back to Nebraska. Where could Ed take her if Ed ends up taking her? Could she be going all the way to the East Coast and then Jimmy or Saul or Gene, meets up with her then? It's just really crazy to think about. She already seemed very interested in the book, and they might use the Sandpiper money for that. Yeah, man. Like we all know that um, Jimmy, of course, or Saul takes over Caldera's book because a lot of people, if you haven't already, I'm not going to go through it because people have already done videos on it. I would recommend the Vivid Kiwi here. He does a lot of great Better Call Saul videos. He has a video decoding the entire book here. Um, for that. All the contacts in there. I'm really hoping that like they bring some of those contacts in, but it might be already a little bit too late in the series for that. But that would be just insane here. If they went that route. Okay, I just finished the episode. All I gotta say is what the surprise we already have people talking about it. Oh, it was talked about all over. I know I saw Twitter was going crazy over. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, oh my god." I myself, I literally just like went out like the biggest "Oh my god," and just freaking I was just so mind blown. I don't even want to say that because of what happened to Howard, man. I don't even want to talk about mind blown because he literally got his mind blown off, of course. Um, I thought it was too convenient that Howard and Lalo met right at that moment. I feel that in the season there are too many conveniences, like Jimmy seeing the judge with a broken arm, for example. Yeah, but I mean, I definitely see what you're going with there, but they have to do something that moves the plot along. I can deal with the little small inconveniences of timing, if it means putting together a really great story. I think they've done that really good, but I agree with you on that, Jimmy, of course, on a whim sees the mediator with the broken arm, just going to pick up a bottle, and then uh, like what you said, Lalo shows up right at the exact time Howard comes. Um, so I can definitely see that, but I can overlook those personally for a great story. But yeah, I see what you said. Beautifully written, of course. So yeah, like I said, if as long as that doesn't take away from the plot of the story, I'm fine with the conveniences. It's like the same thing with the whole Lalo in Germany situation. She ends up coming back conveniently to like because she forgot her phone. I'm like, who forgets their phone? Like just something like that. I know that happens to people, but just something that could have been used as a plot convenience. At least they established Lalo screwing up with the phone call. Yeah, they did. But he kind of covered his tracks with it because uh, he recognized before he said anything to Hector that they were on the line. So he closed it up and he thought of his plan, which is to send Mike and his guys over to protect Gus. So what I think is going to happen with that whole situation is going to be, Lalo setting up everyone to be at Gus's house. They're gonna take Gus and move him over there. Lalo's gonna sneak in. He's gonna find the super lab. He might film inside the super lab. He's got that camera with him. Bring this to Eladio. He's gonna film. If I were Lalo, this is what I would do. Of course, what his plan is to take Mike and everyone away from the laundromat. Get in there, sneak in, film where they are, and then take that footage back to Eladio. But of course, we know that doesn't happen because uh, Gus and the cartel are on good terms in Breaking Bad. So we know that Lalo never gets the footage to Don Eladio, or he doesn't believe him. that could happen too. He sees this, and Don Latios think he's full of shit, but I don't think he would think that. Don Ladio thinks really high of Lalo. You see that in season 5. I don't think Lalo is going to get out with that. Nobody seems to know about that in Breaking Bad. Yeah. Like I said, we know the cartel does not know about the meth lab, because they were on good terms up until the very end in Breaking Bad. So we know that does not happen here. Um, Again, that's my personal theory. If I was Lalo, that's what I would do. I think, but every time someone tries to predict the plot of Better Call Saul, they always end up doing a twist and turn that ends up being better than what we can come up with. So, these people, they got a chance to write the entire season here. Dealing with the pandemic here, which was really, really great to see, because they were able to put all these pieces together and write out a fully fleshed story here. And Jimmy Tui freaks out thinking Lalo is still after him. Yeah, of course, the infamous Better Call, or the infamous Breaking Bad line. No, it wasn't me. It was Ignacio. He's the one. Lalo didn't send you. No, Lalo. Well, we know with Nacho, he's just throwing the blame on anyone he could at that time, because you know, uh, Gus, or not Gus, Saul, of course, he doesn't know that Nacho's dead. Maybe he'll find out from Lalo about Nacho's situation. He just throws the blame. He thinks that they're hitmen for the cartel. And now we know, of course, because we saw the whole situation in the conversation with Kim and Mike, telling Kim that Lalo's still out there, and she didn't tell Jimmy. But now, of course, Jimmy knows Lalo's out there. And I really think, like what people said, how Mike told Jimmy back in season 5 that Lalo Salamanca is going to die tonight. He's not going to, if Lalo ends up dying, no one's going to tell him, and he's going to still be afraid, because, look, how can you not be afraid? We just saw Kim and Jimmy just freaking, they were scared shitless when he freaking blew Howard's brains out, man. It was insane. Mike took the men who were watching Jimmy and Kim. Lalo sent Jimmy to get to get the bail money, and he represented Crazy Eight with the DEA. He's not even remotely a minor target, as Mike says. hmm Like I said, too many conveniences. Yeah, I definitely understand that. Yeah, I'm confused about that part too. Easily the second highest target on Lalo's list. I feel so bad for Howard. I know, man. I was feeling so bad for Howard in this episode. Like, we're always meant to hate Howard in those earlier seasons. He really comes off as a douche. But man, I got so sick of Howard, man. Like the stuff they were doing. Like, I enjoyed it, of course, but I'm like, I feel so bad for Howard, man. Like, Howard didn't do like nothing to them, like nothing real serious, and this is like what happens to him. It's like crazy. But man, or not Lalo, Howard should have got the fuck out of that room. Howard should have listened, man, got the fuck out of there. I know I would have, if I had seen someone I didn't know freaking just barge in like that. They're freaking out. But of course, he probably thought it was gonna be like part of their plan, and uh, he thinks Lalo's just a client. He says, you need to find better lawyers, and then freaking Lalo takes out his gun and freaking shoots him. Insane. Howard definitely was starting to grow on me towards the end. I know he was with me too, because really didn't like Howard as much in the earlier seasons, but he really grew on me. Someone that I'm kind of glad they've gotten rid of, who I don't think ever would have grew on me, is Chuck, because I freaking hated Chuck. I think most people would agree. We just all, who in here hated Chuck, man? I think we all hated Chuck. Chuck was just not good. I couldn't stand his stupid fake disorder of like the electromagnetic whatever the fuck. I couldn't stand that shit. Lalo definitely knew Gus was listening in and wanted Gus to think he was going after him. That's why the next time we see him going after Saul. Yeah, like I said, with the phone conversation, he knew before he said anything to Hector that the phone was tapped. Like he didn't know until he called, but then he realized, and then he hung back up, and then he called back. And like I said, I think his plan is that he's getting everyone away from the laundromat, and they're going to set Gus up at his house. And then that will allow him his opportunity to get into the laundromat. I think that's like his plan right now. And also what you said, going after Saul, it gives him more time. So definitely great. And I really wonder, like, what the are they gonna address the PI situation? Not Howard's PI, but Mike and Gus's, because we know that they were following Kim and all, but we haven't seen them since that one episode. And have they just disappeared? Have they pulled him away? I mean, I think they've had to have at this point, because they would have gotten back to Lalo, was uh, at Kim's apartment there with Jimmy. I wonder if Lalo gets buried in the lab. We were talking about that earlier in the live stream, uh, about the theory of Lalo getting buried in the lab, him, getting killed in the lab, and then them just covering it up, just burying him in front. And I said, if he gets buried in the lab, people are going to look back at those Breaking Bad scenes of Walter and be like, they won't even look at it the same again. Like when the scene in Breaking Bad when Gus is showing Walter the lab for the first time, it's gonna be like, no, Lalo's in there. Lalo's Lalo's stuck in there, man. Uh, it's just not going to be the same, but that would be insane. I'd love to see him do that. But it seems like a lot of people, when they predict something, it just ends up going the other way. They end up doing some sort of twist that no one expects, and that's what keeps you on your P's and Q's, man. It's like that's why Better Call Saul is so great, because you think you have in your head, you're like, I can predict what's going to happen, and then it doesn't. Like, some parts you can predict, yeah, and it does come true, and you think you're like really smart for that, but then they throw you a curveball, and it's like, wow, great. That's always a great thing about this show, the element of surprise. I can see it being plausible. Gus did hide a gun in the construction equipment. Yeah, that's what we said. I saw someone comment here earlier about they think that Gus is going to kill Lalo with that gun. I personally just don't think that's going to happen. Because, like I said, Gus doesn't do the dirty work himself. But like I said, Mike is the obvious choice, and Better Call Saul, never really goes with the obvious choice. Lalo gained another level of being a menace. I know, man. It's crazy, the transformation of Lalo, man, because he's definitely turned into my favorite Salamanca. I love Tuco. I love the cousins. I love Hector. They're all, either ruthless or hilarious. Tuco and the cousins are hilarious, and then you have Hector, who's just freaking hilarious. Or you have Tuco and the cousins who are ruthless, and then you have Hector, who's freaking just hilarious. Some of the funniest scenes. But Lalo, man, he has some great funny one-liners, and he also is such a menace to the show. He's so great. In season 4, I really wasn't a fan of Lalo, because at that time he was going after Mike, and Mike is my favorite Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad character here. So I was like, man, I don't want you to do anything to Mike. But then as he grew more and more and became more developed in season 5 and now in season 6, I think he's got to be like, him and Mike for me are the best characters on the show. I don't know if he'll ever beat Mike, because Mike is just so awesome. I hold such a soft spot in my heart for Mike, that I have to put Mike up as like the number one guy, but Lalo is definitely up there. Since there was a first call, they must have realized that the second was acted. I don't like when characters are idiots just to keep the story moving. Suddenly, Mike misses these things. Yeah, that's the thing too, because um, I would think that they would understand that, yeah, he made the second he made a phone call at first and didn't say anything, and be like, oh, and he realizes he's gonna set us up. But may, maybe they're doing a double switcheroo. Maybe they know that it is, and then they swap back. And that's the thing, man. They're really good at flip flopping and swatching and switching. That it could be like that. That's really good pointing out. Like we said with Howard's PI, man, a double agent, that was awesome. I didn't think that would happen. I thought that Howard's PI wasn't going to be able to get dirt on Jimmy, of course, or that he was setting it up. But of course, he's working with Jimmy the entire time. Do you think Lyle was still alive during the Breaking Bad time when Saul first meets Walt and Jesse? That's another theory that we were talking about earlier here. I think that he is not, because they could definitely do the situation where Lalo somehow goes into hiding through the Breaking Bad timeline, and even to the Gene timeline. But he's already caused so much already. Why would he go into hiding now? I feel like if he was gonna go in hiding, he would have been in hiding this entire time. And then secondly, it would just really take away from that line in Breaking Bad when Gus tells Hector, "You're the final Salamanca," because then he wouldn't be. That line would be fake, um, or it'd be retconned by Lalo still being alive in the Breaking Bad universe. So I don't think they will do that. That sounds a bit crazy, but I think Lalo might not leave Saul's apartment alive. They only have 5 more episodes to set up Breaking Bad and fix the Gene story, so that's not a lot of time to have Lalo involved. Yeah, so what I also heard online through interviews and stuff about Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad is they're not. This is not. The writer said that this is not going to be a like seamless transition, like it's going to go straight into Breaking Bad. Like Better Call Saul is going to be its own separate thing. So there's going to be probably a time gap. Right now, I believe they're in um, May of 2004, if I remember correctly. So that's still 4 years out from where Breaking Bad takes place. So this will probably finish up in the summer. They might do a time skip in like a year or two, but I heard that they are separate timelines. They're not going to merge together, even though I think a lot of people would have enjoyed that, merging the two together. But I've heard differently from what I've heard in interviews and from other people's videos here on YouTube that it's going to be two separate stories. Gus wouldn't have been so composed throughout Breaking Bad. Yeah, another thing that Gus is so paranoid, but I think Gus, you can really see how Gus has matured through the series. You can see they're not writing Gus as like how he was in Breaking Bad. Like they are, but they're not because they want to show his growth and development through the story. Um, the famous line that a lot of people talk about is in season 5 when Gus uses fear as a motivator for Nacho, and then eventually Gus tells Mike in Breaking Bad, "I don't think fear is an effective motivator." That's a development that Gus, has learned through the Nacho situation to not use fear as an effective motivator. Uh, you know, that's kind of my take on it. So yeah. Uh, How will they introduce Walt and Jesse though? Oh man, there's been a ton of videos out there of how they're gonna do it. I really don't know. They could show Walt in his classroom. They could show Walt at the car wash. They could show Walt just even walking down the street. I think Jesse's gonna be a lot easier to introduce in this story because he's already involved in the low level drug business. So they could definitely show that. We know that he doesn't meet Saul because that was a theory that Jesse would meet Saul through be his lawyer, but we know that Jesse isn't because when they go and meet Saul, Jesse doesn't know him. He says that Emilio knows him, so maybe there's a scene where Emilio goes and sees Saul, and Jesse somehow is a part of it. It could be something as small as just um, a convenience or something, but I don't know if they'll have it shown that Walt and Jesse are seen by Saul because it's supposed to be shown in Breaking Bad that's the first time they've ever seen each other, the first time they've ever met. So hopefully they just put it in, like a Vince way. Bravo, Vince. Vince confirmed that they would make a cameo or something. LCS, yeah, they are confirmed to be in the season 6 here, and they were not in part 1, so they will be in part 2. My guess is that they will be in the final one of the final 3 episodes. I don't think that they will be in multiple episodes. I think they'll do like a one episode thing. We haven't seen the episode titles released yet, but a lot of people pointed out that it would be such a golden opportunity for them to name one of the episodes Breaking Bad. Um, because the episode that Saul gets introduced in Breaking Bad is called Better Call Saul, and the show name is Better Call Saul. So they'll use that as Breaking Bad, where they can address any Breaking Bad Easter eggs. They could do Breaking Bad questions that are answered in that episode. While in Jesse's cameo, they could just make a whole Breaking Bad centric episode. And I think the fans would just eat that up. Crazy Eight would be the easiest introduction for Jesse. Yeah, because we've already seen Crazy Eight in the Better Call Saul storyline. He works as this informant for the DEA, and I think that could definitely be in there. But the thing with that is, when we see Crazy Eight in Breaking Bad, he is not fond of Jesse at all. So they are not like on good terms, because because when they're trying to find Crazy Eight to be their dealer or their distribution network in the first season, Crazy Eight just doesn't want to do it. He just makes fun of Jesse. He's like, "You didn't cook this shit yourself." I don't feel like they're friends at all. So I don't know if that will happen. It would be weird to break the and titles. I know that's the thing too is because they can't really it would suck because they're all the episodes are blank and blank, axe and grind, plan and execution, rock and hard place. Um Wine and roses, like carrot and stick. So yeah, that's another one. Maybe they do breaking and bad, but that just wouldn't flow right. So I personally would have had a Breaking Bad episode title name, but I know they want to go with the theme of what they're doing, the blank and blank. So yeah, let's just scroll up here. We're probably gonna cut this off at around an hour. We're in 45 minutes in. So if you got any questions again here, if you haven't already, we are less than 200 subscribers away from 1,000 here on the channel, and it would really be appreciative if you guys could hit the subscribe button. We're doing a special giveaway here on the channel for a little bit of incentivification here for you guys to enter. I've really been wanting to do a giveaway here on the channel, and I thought that 1,000 subscribers would be perfect here. So if you guys want to have a chance to be entered to win, of course, you got to be subscribed to be entered into the giveaway. Definitely subscribe to the channel. I come out here with Better Call Saul content. I also do Mayans MC. I talk about a whole bunch of different shows. I have a lot of characters tier lists as well. So if you guys want to check any of those out, feel free and definitely show your support is greatly appreciated. I don't understand how Jimmy could become Saul after what happened to Howard, unless it's to protect Kim or something. Yeah, man. Because, like I said, I think it would be more with Kim, because Howard, I feel like he could brush off. He's already kind of somewhat recovered from Chuck, and Chuck meant a lot more to him than Howard meant to Jimmy. Um, but man, if something happens to Kim, I don't know how they would write that, because Jimmy, or Saw, I should say, in Breaking Bad is so lovable, and he's like doesn't have a sad bone in his body. At least the scenes that we see him, and he's never sad. He's always upbeat. He's always cracking jokes. He always seems like a fun loving guy. So it's like he doesn't seem like he's depressed at all. So if something were to happen to Kim, that just wouldn't make sense, to where he would be really sad, you know what I mean? He would be, or a lot of people have theorized for many years that they break up. Could that possibly be happening? Who knows? We get to see flashes of them possibly breaking up, but right now they're at their strongest. Well, before the whole Lalo situation tonight, they were at their strongest when they completed the con of Howard. They were just so happy. They were celebrating. They were just the highest they could be, and then Lalo just turned the whole situation upside down. Just so crazy to see here. Sure, that's what I mean. He doesn't seem to have much of a burden. Yeah, I don't think Howard, like I said, will have too much of a factor on Jimmy, just because Jimmy's gone through a lot of loss already, and I feel like Howard, really wasn't as important to him. But I think that this is just going to shake him up in the meantime. In this timeline, that Howard situation is going to shake him up, and I really want to know what they're going to do to explain Howard's disappearance. Like I've said earlier in this live stream, Howard is, it's not like an Emilio or even a Crazy Eight, like someone they could just sweep under the rug like they did in Breaking Bad. Like we're talking about one of the most recognized figures in Albuquerque here. He's a well recognized lawyer with his face painted everywhere, on ads, and one of the most recognized corporations. How are they going to hide that he's dead? How are they going to explain that? It's going to be really insane to see. And uh, just I'm so excited for it. I know you guys are. A lot of great discussions and theories on Reddit as well. If any of you guys want to check out any of that, Reddit always has great discussion threads where you can interact with people, and I see a lot of great stuff on there every day. um, I definitely got to check that out after the live stream here. But yeah, if there's anything else that you guys want to add here before I sign out, I wanted to stay on for like another 10 minutes, but if you guys don't have anything else to say, I can end it here. Look at all this support you guys showed out tonight, man. You guys really came in here guns a blazing and just fired off all your questions. It was great to see. Great to see your thoughts and how you thought the episode was. The big moment at the end. I think just really tied it up really well for the mid-season finale here. um Thank you guys all for the support on the channel. It really means a lot to me that you guys are able to show out, each and every week. I see some of these names I really recognize every week that you guys tune in here for the Better Call Saul reviews, and I will be back when they come back in July. So I always go live right after the episode. So if you guys want to stick and enjoy, I love interacting with you guys and talking about and reviewing the episode, giving my thoughts on it. So definitely wondering how they are going to tell Howard dies to the police. Yeah, I know they can't cover this up. There's no way that they can cover this up. Like, how would they? He's such a recognizable figure. It's not like they can just sweep this under the rug. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to be. you know, maybe one story that they could use is just be like, Howard came in, he's like, uh, just talks about his depression problems, and then he just shot himself in front of us. But then they're gonna be like, "Where's the gun?" There's a whole bunch of ways they could spin this to the police. That's one thing I was thinking. Like, they could say that Howard, shot himself in the head, and it was like, you know, this is what happened while he was here at our house, or maybe they stage an accident. Maybe they say that, because Howard was drinking. Of course, they could say that, he got drunk and he fell off. But then there was, how would you explain the gunshot? It was just a crazy topic, but they definitely have it covered here. Vince and the team definitely have it covered on how they're going to handle that. Maybe Saul does come up front about being stuck in the cartel business, and that's the reason for Howard's death. Um, is he even a friend of the cartel in Breaking Bad? I don't know if he's really a friend of the cartel, but he's definitely not a rat. The famous Kim line: "Are you want to be a friend of the cartel, or do you want to be a rat?" Um, Jimmy would never rat, or Saul would never rat. So, but I don't think he would be on good terms with the cartel. Like, of course, when we see him getting dragged out into the desert by Wall and Jesse, he's not on good terms with the cartel because he thinks the cartel are there to send to hit on him to kill him. So, and we never see any interactions with any other cartel members. Roy in the Breaking Bad series, all the stuff with Crazy Eight and Nacho and uh, Tuco, that stuff's all in Better Call Saul. So, post Breaking Bad or in Breaking Bad, we don't see him interact with any of the cartel members. Like I said, we don't even see him really interacting with Gus. Um, he says to Wall and Jesse, "I know a guy who knows a guy." And of course, Mike's that guy who knows Gus, even though Saul met Gus in season 3 of Better Call Saul. But he doesn't really know Gus like that. Um, so yeah, again here, uh, can't express enough how much you guys have shown out tonight for the Better Call Saul live stream here. It was really great to see all of you guys in here. I will be coming out with a Minds MC video tomorrow here, or actually Wednesday will be uploaded probably early in the morning. I'll get started on filming that right when the episode ends. So if any of you guys are fans of that series, I will also be doing a Stranger Things Volume 1 breakdown or review here on the weekend. It drops Friday. I'm hoping to get it up by Saturday, possibly even the same day, because I really want to binge all the episodes in that one day, as well as I'm doing a 1 year anniversary special here on the channel. Today is actually technically 1 year since I've started my channel, May 23rd, but the first upload I had was on May 29th. So on Sunday, I have a big video here for you guys that I think you all really enjoy. It's going to be tying back with a popular series here on my channel. But yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream and enjoy talking Better Call Saul. And I love to see any theories that you come up with or any thoughts you have. Always leave it in the comments of my videos. I'm always looking and searching for comments from you guys. It's always great to see here. Just leave a comment down below if you weren't able to talk in the live stream, if there was something that came up afterwards. So yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream from Better Call Saul. See you guys back in July, and peace out.